Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. I have Louis with me and he is wearing his polka dot tie. I have a polka dot shirt today. So guess what's happening? We are making a polka dot lemon wreath. Doesn't lemon just sound refreshing? Just saying lemon sounds refreshing to me. Doesn't it sound refreshing to you? So that is what we're doing today. We are making a polka dot lemon wreath. Let's go over the supplies for this beautiful wreath. But before we get started, I wanted to mention that all the supplies and where I got everything is in the description box below. Starting with this absolutely gorgeous Deco Mesh. It is 10 inches by 10 yards. You will need the entire roll. For all my pancake wreaths, I always like using a 1.5 inch wide ribbon that I put over the 2.5 inch wide ribbon, and that's because the way we put the ribbon on the wreath, it works the best. 12 pipe cleaners for my wreath form, and if you have a sign you're attaching, you might need more, or just use floral wire like we're going to be using today. Because this wreath is going to have so much yellow and green, I decided to brighten it up with some of these white florals, and I thought that these would be perfect because they kind of match the white flowers that the lemon tree has. For our base, I'm going to be using a 14-inch metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree. For our centerpiece, I'm going to be using this metal lemon welcome sign, and it is 12 inches in diameter. For a pancake wreath, we're only going to need 2 pipe cleaners per section. The first pipe cleaner is under 1 and 2 twists, and we're going to fold it towards the inside. Row 2 and 3, and we're going to tie it towards row 3. And we're going to repeat this going all the way around. I'm done attaching my pipe cleaners, and as you can see, 6 on the inside, 6 on the outside, and I use this for all my pancake wreaths using 14-inch wreath form. When making wreaths, I usually work from inside out, but a pancake wreath is a lot different because pancake wreaths, we have to layer and work from outside in, which means we're going to work on our outside pipe cleaners and take care of the Deco Mesh, the ribbon, decor if you're going to add anything. And when we're done with that, we're going to work on the inside row and then our centerpiece. The first thing we're going to do is cut our Deco Mesh into 30-inch strips. My cutting mat is only 24 inches, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 6 more inches. Don't forget that you have a 1/2 inch on the edge, so I'm just going to put a ruler at 5.5 inches right underneath my cutting mat, and I'm ready to cut my Deco Mesh. Grabbing my IKEA basket, I'm going to drop my Deco Mesh in there. I'm going to be using a rotary cutter to cut my Deco Mesh, but you can use scissors or a heating tool. Whatever you have on hand is just fine. And I'm just rolling up my Deco Mesh, putting it to the side, and working on my next one. Now let's take care of the ribbon. I'm going to be cutting my ribbon into 12-inch strips. As always, I'm going to zigzag my ribbon, just making sure I got my 12 inches, and I'm going to zigzag my ribbon until I have 12 strips of this 2.5 inch. Now I'm just going to fold my ribbon in half, cut a little triangle, making sure I cut the tips so that our ribbon is separated, and I'm going to do this to both sides. Now we have our gorgeous lemon ribbon, and I'm going to do the same thing. Fold it at 12 inches and zigzag all the way up. This ribbon is beautiful and it seems to be very good quality. It's on the thicker side, so I'm very excited to use this ribbon. Just like with my 2.5 inch, I'm going to need 12 pieces at 12 inches each. And now the same thing with the edges, fold in half and cut a little triangle. My ribbon is all cut up. I'm going to put that on the side, and let's get started on attaching the Deco Mesh to the outside row. I'm going to gather my Deco Mesh like I usually do for a ruffle wreath. I'm going to fold at the edge, and then I'm going to just collect in the center. At the end, I'm also going to fold about 1 inch, and there you go. I have my beautiful ruffle. Before I twist my pipe cleaner, I like to pull everything down because sometimes it can get bulky. 2 nice twists. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the edges of my ruffle and I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to bring it to the next wave so it overlaps, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take the ends and overlap them, and I like to put them in that next groove. That way everything is covered and you have less fraying going on. Let's make another one, and same thing. Let's fold about 1 inch at the end, and I like to use my cutting mat as my guide. I have my 10-inch square right here, and I'm going to focus on that center square and just gather the Deco Mesh. Same thing at the end, I'm going to fold 1 inch and gather just like that. Attach it to my next pipe cleaner. Before I twist, I'm going to push that center down so that it's nice and tight and not as bulky. Both of the ends, overlap them, and then I'm doing the same thing on this side. Grab both ends and overlap them. I'm done attaching all the ruffles on the outside row, so the next thing I'm going to do is, of course, the ribbon. What we're going to do with the ribbon is we're going to overlap the 1.5 inch right on top of our 2.5 inch. After I find the center, by folding it in half, bring it together, and I'm going to make a little upside down V, just like that. And then I'm going to attach it, twist my pipe cleaner, and I'm not going to be using this pipe cleaner anymore, so I'm just going to twist it up about 1 inch from the connection, cut the excess, and then fold the little tip in half and back. When we're going to put in our second layer, this part is going to get covered, so don't worry about that at all. I think it's so lovely. So let's do this one more time. We're going to overlap the 1.5 inch right on top of the 2.5 inch. Fold in half, find our center by folding it in half and gather it just like this and make a little V. After I do that, I'm going to put it right on top of our little ruffle. How adorable is this? And just twist the little pipe cleaner, cut off about 1 inch from the connection, fold in half, and fold back. As an extra step, I like to poof it out just a little bit, and I'm going to continue doing this going all the way around. I haven't made a pancake wreath in a little bit on my channel, but I absolutely love making these wreaths. I think they are one of my favorites because they are so affordable. All I'm doing is using 1 roll of 10-inch Deco Mesh, and that's when you can actually splurge for a pretty Deco Mesh because you're just going to need that 1 roll of the 10-inch by 10 yards. And then as far as ribbon, I could have definitely played around and used different ones if I didn't have a full roll, and I could have used 4 sets of ribbon, even use them every other on the outside and then use another 2 sets on the inside. You can definitely make this affordable and beautiful as long as everything kind of plays together and you're working within the same color scheme. The outside of this wreath is done, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to put the ribbon on the side, and we're going to attach the Deco Mesh ruffles. And as always, this is where facing our pipe cleaners towards the inside is actually going to help us. We're going to find the first one, point it up, and then get our ruffle ready. Same thing, we're going to do a little 1-inch fold and gather at the center. 1-inch fold in the back, gather that, and attach it to the pipe cleaner. 2 tight twists. And this is where you're going to see these little areas where we have the pipe cleaner covered, and all you're going to see is the endings of our tails. But I am going to do the same thing. We're going to take the edges and overlap them on both sides. Then going to this side, overlap it. I'm done attaching all my Deco Mesh, and now it's time to attach the ribbon to the inside row, and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did on the outside row, and that's just overlap the 1.5 inch over the 2.5 inch, fold, find my center, bring it together, make a little V, and we're going to attach the V onto our pipe cleaner. I'm not going to be attaching anything else, so same thing, I'm going to twist the pipe cleaner up, cut off the excess, and fold back. I currently live in the Chicagoland area, and a lot of people have storm doors here, which means we have those double doors, and there's not a lot of room between the doors. So a lot of wreaths I make with poofy bows and things like that, they don't fit between the doors, and the storm door sometimes ends up squishing some of my ribbon. So this type of wreath is perfect for that. And a lot of people who do have storm doors love these types of wreaths. But of course, you can use it regardless what kind of door you have, or even somewhere in the home. This is just one of those really, really pretty wreaths. All the Deco Mesh and the ribbon is on, and let me tell you, on this side of the camera, I cannot stop smiling because I think this is so adorable. The little polka dots with the lemon, it just works so nicely together. Now I'm going to bring in the sign. These metal signs usually have a little hole on top and the bottom. So I'm going to choose to go in between instead of centering it like this. I'm going to go in between like that, grabbing some floral wire. I'm going to attach it to my sign, and I'm going to twist it in the back. Let's do 2 twists. I'm going to fold in, 2 twists and fold in. And I'm going to flip everything together. Work my floral wire through all the Deco Mesh on this side and this side. When attaching my wires, I'm going to go on the crossbars here, either on row 2 or 3. And I'm going to make sure that one side of my wire goes on one side of this bar. Then the other one is going on the other side of the bar. This is what's going to hold the sign in place and from moving. I'm going to give only one twist. That's it. Same thing on this side. Now I'm going to come here, make sure that my sign is centered before I tighten that floral wire in. I think it's actually perfect right where it is. So I'm going to go ahead, go in the back, twist the floral wire, and I have it really, really long. So I'm going to cut some of it off and fold it down and under. Same thing on this side. After I'm done with this, you can either cover the back or not. I think it's so beautiful. I don't even want to cover it, but I am. I'm going to cover it with a placemat that I usually get at the Dollar Tree, and I usually use 3 zip ties and tie them at 3 corners. For those who are wondering why I'm using 3 pipe cleaners only, you know, why not use more and make sure it's more secure? Well, the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that if anything needs to be fixed, I'm able to lift a corner and fix whatever needs fixing. Cut that off. And of course, don't forget to send the little nub to the back. I'm going to do the same thing here. Cut the excess, send the nub to the back, and do my third one. To hang the wreath, I'm going to make sure that I have the top, and I'm going to just use a jute cord. In the back, I'm going to go on this intersection. I'm going to make a few knots, cutting off the excess, and then I'm going to send the knot to the back and pull the jute cord from the front of the wreath. I'm going to pull it out like this, and we have our hanging loop, just like that. We worked for a long time in the back, so now we need to make sure our ribbons are nicely laid out, and then we're going to attach the florals. And the first thing I want to do is take the little florals apart, and since we know we're working with Dollar Tree florals, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the tip and insert it. There you go. Our florals are going to go in between our top ruffles, or basically on top of our bottom ruffles, right in the center. So basically where our little ribbon bundles are, and that way they're just making a little accent. So when I know I like where my little floral is, I'm going to throw in some hot glue and make sure it's attached. And you have a little bit of florals. It doesn't need to be a lot. I don't want it to be a lot because I feel like this wreath is busy enough. The wreath is all done, and look how beautiful it is. And the flowers, they're hardly noticeable, but I don't mind that. They're just adding a tiny, tiny bit of elegance and bringing these little flowers out just a little bit. Polka dots are all over the place, obviously, and so are the lemons. I'm just so in love with this lemon wreath. I hope hope you guys enjoyed this very refreshing lemon polka dot wreath as much as I enjoyed making it. I thought it turned out so super cute. In the comments below, I would love for you to throw in a lemon emoji. I think it's a very cute emoji, and I thought we would have a little fun. Thank you so much for being with me. For more wreath tutorials, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and as always, Louie and I have prepared 2 videos for you to watch right here and enjoy more wreath tutorials. With that being said, thank you so much, and we will see you in our next video.